I wonder how many times I actually say Osaka in this video. We'll see. Hello guys, I'm the first thing to do here with a certain type of discussion video for you guys today. So lately, it seems people have a problem with the Osaka Effect. Many people have different definitions of the term Osaka Effect, such as whenever someone uses the term at all when talking about Dream Drop Distance or Birth by Sleep, they complain about the games being worse than the numbered ones, even go so far as saying people compare the two all the time, and call the numbered games perfect and the handheld games very bad or trash games. That it's unfair to only label the problems Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop have, but not Kingdom Hearts 1 or Kingdom Hearts 2. That is how they would view the term Osaka Effect. This, however, isn't what I or anyone else who may share the same mindset as me mean. I will give some visual examples later in the video. Whenever I use the term Osaka Effect, I refer to the games such as Birth by Sleep or Dream Drop Distance being very unbalanced when it comes to its core gameplay. For example, you can literally spam one thing and get through the entire game, that being your command deck or even flow motion when it comes to Dream Drop Distance, and be fine. You also don't have any consequences when you use them, as you are able to get multiple of the same command. The replayability would go down and in turn would make the game just not fun after a certain point. It doesn't make the game unplayable or bad, that isn't what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying that the term Osaka Effect represents this to a T. That is just my opinion, of course. The next thing would be how one may bring up problems for the Osaka games, but not the problems that the number titles may suffer from. A simple way I can explain this is that, compared to the Osaka games, I would have to say that Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2 don't have that many exploitable things that could get you through the entire game without any problems compared to Dream Drop Distance and Birth by Sleep. As well, that's exactly what Dream Drop Distance and Birth by Sleep are. Some mechanics off the top of my head that I could give you for Birth by Sleep besides the command deck system would be D-Link. At the end of the day, even when you use the D-Links, you are still using your command deck, moves that you can indeed spam without any repercussions. There is also Shot Lock, which can also be spammed, but of course, just like D-Links, once the meter is completed, you would go right back to the command deck, since I highly doubt anyone really uses the basic 3-hit combos, unless it's very early game and you are waiting for your commands to recharge. I would also like to point out that you can keep items that refill your Shot Lock and D-Link gauge for as little as 50 money, so it's possible to keep them on your person at all times to spam whenever a person feels is right. The same thing can be said for Dream Drop Distance, since it uses the same system, and if for some reason you are waiting for your command deck to charge, you have flow motion you are able to use over and over again. You can say the same argument for buying ethers for MP in Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2, but the difference here is the cost of the items. The supply and demand of the items are very apparent if you compare Birth by Sleep or Dream Drop Distance to the numbered titles. There's also another aspect of the Osaka Effect, which I deem to be the most important part, that many players, including even casual fans of the series, may have picked up on at some point. This would be the staggering of enemies. In Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop Distance, enemies don't particularly stagger much, or at all depending on said enemy. Say I wanted to use my Keyblade, the regular 3-hit combo on a boss or a particular enemy. The enemies themselves don't stagger, which in turn make the enemy break out of whatever combo you happen to be doing, retaliate on you, and possibly kill you. That isn't something that anyone really wants, is it? To be thrown out of a combo because the enemy or boss in question can't be affected by your regular combos and be made to stagger by anything other than your command deck. So you can see how it's just an endless cycle that repeats in you using your command deck. That is another example of the Osaka Effect, which, correct me if I'm wrong, still stands in the realm of the feel of the game and not how people view the games in a negative light. I could also go into how there is an absence of something called revenge value in the Osaka games, but since my knowledge on this is somewhat limited, please check out the video in the description from a user named Bloody Biscuits, who knows exactly what it is and explains it better than I ever could. Both revenge value and staggering are something all enemies, like in KH1 and 2, should have without a doubt to make the gameplay experience generally more fair. Now I'm sure you are asking, why do we refer to the unbalanced gameplay of Osaka Team as the Osaka Effect? Well, in case you are unaware, Osaka Team is the main team that is leading the production behind Kingdom Hearts 3. I do believe that the term Osaka Effect was given to these games' unbalanced gameplay mechanics to make them, in my opinion, more apparent. Let's think about this for a second. The last thing we would really want in Kingdom Hearts 3 is an unbalanced experience, right? It seems the Osaka team are very capable of introducing new things that sound pretty good on paper. For example, in Kingdom Hearts 3's case, we have things like attraction flow, Keyblade transformations, and we even have flow motion returning. We have drive forms back, and it may even be possible that limits may make a return. So, with all these new things in mind, the people that use the term Osaka Effect in its correct sense would like to see KH3 the best it can be and be very balanced. No one is asking it to be perfect, no game is perfect, but there's a fine line between fun and not fun after a certain degree, i.e. the first playthrough, which is normally the make it or break it decision to even continue playing the game for a lot of people in the first place. It is fine if you make all these new additions to the game, but make them balanced. Make attraction flow actually cost you something in return of using it. Make Keyblade transformations only do this amount of damage, or let drive forms share a meter with attraction flow, or Keyblade transformations. Similar to how summons and drives are linked to one gauge, and how limits and magic are linked to the MP bar in KH2. But with Osaka Team's recent track record, it's hard to believe that they'll actually make these changes. Again, this is why the term Osaka Effect is so heavily used when referring to Birth by Sleep and Dream Drop Distance. Though, with the recent Kingdom Hearts 0.2, I can say Osaka did a damn good job. There are a few things that I would fix, granted, and there are still a few things you could tell still have the Osaka Effect, but nothing a little work can't fix. It's still a great experience nonetheless. Now, let's get to the fun part. Let me show you any and all exploits, I'm using that word with a huge grain of salt, that I could personally find with the number titles. I will also show off some visual examples of some exploits I could find in Dream Drop Distance and Birth by Sleep that aren't what I already talked about earlier. Oh, and just a quick reminder, this isn't me trying to pick out only bad things and showcase them, but to let people know who weren't aware of the problems beforehand, not to mention to further showcase what the Osaka Effect truly is. Starting with Kingdom Hearts 1, the MP system, mainly Cure. The MP system is really the only thing that I could think of when it comes to exploitable things in Kingdom Hearts 1. This completely falls apart in the beginning of the game when you barely have enough MP to do things, but later in the end game, when you have a near full-length MP bar, that is when you can really spam spells, namely Cure, but would it matter if the entire game is basically already finished? I guess that's really up to debate. Next with Kingdom Hearts 2, Peter Pan. If any of you have seen a speedrun of Kingdom Hearts 2, you would know that Peter Pan is used to breeze right through certain boss fights such as the Experiment and Saïx. If Peter Pan could be used on every single boss, I could see this as grounds to be labeled as an exploit, but since it isn't, I can't really call it that, but I will still list it here for you to actually view. Reflect. Many people believe that Reflect is extremely OP in Kingdom Hearts 2 and that you are able to spam it non-stop without any consequences. Well, other than the fact that your MP is being drained every time you use it, Reflect also acts as a combo. You have to time your reflects right, and you can only use a certain amount of reflects before Sora just stops reflecting altogether. As you guys can see, in the case of the number titles, each situation that I could personally find has a limit on what it can work on, and even if it could work on every single thing, the game is set up in a way that prevents you from getting it very early in the game and abusing it 24/7. Now, I will show off some visual examples of exploits in Dream Drop Distance and Birth by Sleep. The Osaka Effect is shown very strong in these examples as compared to how, in the number titles, the game is set up to a degree that keeps you from obtaining any one thing and abusing it 24/7, while in Dream Drop Distance and Birth by Sleep, you are able to really acquire anything at any given point in the game and abuse it maliciously. Now let me share something a friend of mine told me that really left its mark on me, and I feel I should tell you guys before I end off the video. The long story short version of the Osaka Effect can be described as such. Osaka games are mostly played based off of grinding instead of understanding a boss's mechanics. The same can be said for regular enemies too. Beating them based off of skill isn't what you would see in an Osaka game, but what you would see in a numbered title, and this is how it all ties in with Kingdom Hearts 3. I find what he said to be 100% correct. Also, notice how I really didn't talk about Re-Channel Memories in this video. Well, of course that game suffers from the Osaka Effect as well, but not as much as Dream Drop Distance and Birth by Sleep, possibly because of it not having the command deck mechanic. And for anyone who doesn't know me, I love Rechant Memories to death. It suffers more from being unbalanced in the way of being able to spam any slight and get through any fight without any problem, but anything else, if that was a tad more balanced, I feel like the game would be even better. Now that we have that out of the way, you guys who may have understood the term Osaka Effect may now understand what I mean. When we use this term, we use it to really speak about the mechanics, gameplay style, and overall feel that Osaka games tend to have. With the Tokyo team pretty much gone, you could say that the main Kingdom Hearts team is now Osaka. We want nothing but the best for the series, so when we talk about them in a constructive way, we hope to have our voices heard and changes made so that many people who play or want to play Kingdom Hearts can have a very nice, warming experience with the amazing gameplay. I am sure the last thing that we all really want is an unbalanced experience and a game we don't want to really play time and time again. We want the type of experience that will have us playing for years to come and we will never get tired of, kind of like the feeling Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2 are able to pull off. I want to thank each and every one of you for watching this video as I tried to explain this the best way I could and knew how. This went from a video that could have taken a little time to a video that took hours upon hours, so if any support you could show, it would be amazing. If you guys enjoyed the video, please do drop a like as I really do appreciate it, and if you're feeling extra generous, subscribe for more Kingdom Hearts content. It's been the 72, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace out.